Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of Building Nathaniel's Bay. So today we are coming at you with an aggressive expansion. We've got a lot of dollars to spend here and not a lot of time. So we can quickly expand our footprint here. No messing around. Now it seems like the highway is mostly being used for industrial purposes, which is good. Looks like the fire trucks are on it. So the population is climbing steadily. It's very difficult to grow the population without having high density involved. Our city attractiveness has hit 7%. Does look like we have some sick people, and that could just be because we have poor access to healthcare. Create a road underneath here that connects to the highway. So our hospital is highway connected. Going to place our hospital right here. Anyways, we may relocate that later to a more central area in the city. Now we look at our medical. Let's put in a carousel. Now this is starting to look like a very boring grid city. And picking up all those sick citizens now at this point. And we do see ambulances using the highways. Attach our highway over here. Gives us some space here for another large park. Or even our fire station. Still an unusually high amount of sick citizens. Add our medical clinic there as well. So we can hopefully get this under control. I'm uncertain of why the citizens are sick. I'm hoping it's not because the water. Let's check our ground pollution. I mean, it's not drawing water from the dump. It does seem like this water tower is like browning. Average drinking water pollution is 21%. That's probably what is causing our problem. Just the water tower being close. Average drinking water pollution just went from 21% to 4%. And now 1%. However, those medical clinics we made will still be important. Alright, our average drinking water pollution has hit 0%. And our city attractiveness has went up to 8%. We should just add a stop by the hospital. 1,006 citizens. Wow, I gave them COVID in their drinking water. That's why they're all sick. So it's finally time to start placing our underground metro, and this is going to be the main component to this episode. Should probably put a cluster of 4. We could just really have 2 circuits, one in here and one in here. So it's really just bringing people down to this high density shopping area where people will want to go, and maybe they also work there. And then it also brings them around and to the areas they work here. So it would be good to just kind of create a circuit. Alright, and we're ready to start placing our lines. Just super simple with the metro. We just have to connect them going in both directions. And this makes people really happy. I think you'll see as soon as we unpause the game, city attractiveness is likely going to spike. But put in some high density just near your metro, because that's where they can really use it. We've already hit 10%. Just after that. So let's go ahead and build our second metro now. Straight across from the street, we can place progress in city attractiveness. So we're at 10% right now. One in near the hospital. Now again, it would be nice if we just have a small road somewhere, I would say here. Drop that in there. Now let's quickly connect them all together. prevent a disruption, let's just take out a loan. Let's take out another loan. So we've already jumped to 11% city attractiveness. Now let's take a look at and see how many citizens are using transit. We have a large amount using the buses. We have quite a bit of people on our first 2 metro lines, and we're definitely going to have a bunch of people hopping onto these ones. Now, if we look at our profitability for our metro system, it's actually pretty terrible. 4% of our income comes from public transportation. 22% of our expenses comes from public transportation. What's really going to improve the usefulness of our metro is if we increase the density of our city, and we can only do that by replacing low density with high density residential. So let's do that. That will definitely increase. Although it's pretty terrible because we're basically evicting people from their properties so that we can build high density residential here. But we have such a high demand for it, we may as well go for it. This year is kind of a bad spot for commercial. I'd rather just have all the commercial on the ends here, especially here. This area is going to be bad, so we're going to change this out for high density commercial. Then we'll likely just change all of this here out for high density residential. Let's go ahead and pay down our crazy loan. 10% interest. Weekly loan expenses are at $600 every week. That's just quite a bit. 10% is a huge amount. Space for 150 people. So that really means that we can completely drop our budget for metro in half. We're also going to raise ticket prices 25%. Let's pay off the last of our debts here. Interest expenses are dropping fast. Our profit was negative almost 3,000. Now we're at close to about negative 1,000. Now we did make a lot of road changes, so it's going to be important now for us to redo our bus lines. Now that they'll start from scratch. Now that we have our metro systems in place and most of our highway built, we've only really have 2 bus lines, so it's going to take us a few seconds to clear them all. Interesting setup here. What we can do is not have our buses drive over the bridges, and then we'll have them drop here because then they can walk just around the corner to get onto the metro, which is great. Excellent. It seems like things have kind of stabilized. So we have 4 vehicles and 82 passengers. 4 vehicles, 78 passengers, 4. So all of our lines are getting good use. 3 vehicles, 60 passengers. If there's 3 vehicles, that means there's capacity for 90 passengers, so 60. So we're close to their full capacity to complete this road going into here. And it would also make it easier for people to walk into that industry. A big loop-de-loop. Bus lines have more stops, and the metros are for more slightly longer distance travel. Everything that is close to a metro, I'm upgrading to high density because I want to increase the use. We're going to do high density in areas where it makes sense. In areas that are well connected to traffic systems. Still only have 174 residents using the metro system. Before I close out this episode, I really need to get this highway loop complete. For the sake of not destroying massive amounts of residential, I think I am going to bury the highway underground complete the loop, and this way, I mean, there's a lot of houses there, and this way it will also keep. Super excited to see what that does for the city. There we go, we're following him. So let's go for a little bus ride so we can see if she's flying around pretty quickly. Underground now, gonna come up for a stop. Oh, we've got quite a bit of people waiting on that line. And we can prioritize this line over the other lines. We can add 3, 4, 5 buses to this one line if it's really serving a lot of people. And you can see people are really lining up for this bus line. I think that number's gonna skyrocket. Or it's gonna be our busiest bus line. Just take a look at it. It's massive. And it uses the highway, so it's gonna be the fastest moving bus line too. Bus income is really starting to go up and profit. The bus lines are almost profitable, which is quite rare. We're going to change the speed limits here. 130 sometimes, and even 140. 90 miles per hour is not that fast. So let's do it. So now let's name the bus line that hits up our expressway, the Nathaniel Bay Express. So we'll call that one the West Bay Line, one the Bay Industrial. What we need is an underground road here. Instead of the bus from the Nathaniel Bay Expressway having to merge through 3 lanes of highway traffic going at 140 kilometers per hour. That's going to be our bypass lane. Not bad, okay. Turn that into high density. We just need to put a connection in through here. Sorry. See, unfortunately it's not using our bypass. It's just deciding that it's going to merge through 3 lanes of traffic. Smart. So it's probably best to just move our stop over here so that it uses the highway. Let's try something here. What if I change the speed, this guy down here, to 140? Huh, look. It is taking the bypass now. Now that it sees the faster route, it is taking the bypass. Also, it's not doing a crazy depth change. Transit system is still burning $1,400. Now, unfortunately, we're making too much money, so we're going to have to lower our taxes back down to 8%. We're just too efficient. And we're just going to put it straight up here so that our garbage trucks don't need to travel when it needs to be incinerated. And it now has direct highway access ramp. This stop is a little far out of the city, so let's just nudge it in just a little bit. That makes things easier. A bunch of people jumped on there. It's able to travel so much distance so fast. I love this first person view of this bus line. We're going to be taking a lot of bus rides, especially on the Nathaniel Bay Express line. We've got 15 passengers. Going through the industrial area here. Now it's a little slower here. What I can do is I can add some lanes to that road that it's traveling on and increase the speed. And that's the end of the Nathaniel Bay Express line. And we're back at square one. Also make this one an asymmetrical 2-lane. Nathaniel Bay Express line is now running at 143. But the West Bay line has also increased in popularity. These guys will go to this lane. These guys will take a left. That'll speed things up here, clean up the bottleneck, and the buses will be able to run through there faster. 80 kilometers an hour. Fast. These highway on-ramps and off-ramps have also really encouraged people to use the highway more often. And we see it being used by police, by garbage trucks, by ambulances, and industrial and regular citizens as well. I'd love to just make some more changes now, though, that we have better highway access. Just really upgrade more stuff to higher density, especially those things there, since they're close to a large arterial. Especially these guys here. Wow, our bus transportation is nearly profitable at only negative $44. We just hit a profit, $6. That is incredible, $29. We're going to drop down to 7% taxes. be nice if we had a little pedestrian pathway. So now that I see that we have a bus stop here, we're going to turn this whole area to a high density area. A nice walkway for people to get to that bus stop there. So let's just run through and get them connected. And now we have a beautiful bus stop connected to one of the most important places in town. And we have a bus stop here. Maybe we can thread a pathway through here. There we go. Give that a little upgrade, especially since it's so well connected to a bus stop and a metro. Even with our taxes at 7%, the city is still running in the positives. We've had this dump here sitting for a while. I'd like to move it off of our main artery, industrial, but this whole area here, this is also a main artery. I'd prefer that it be a high density commercial zone. Make this area a whole lot better. Let's go ahead and expand our forestry here. We haven't done that in a while. And look at that. #1 in the city. Has 7 buses on it. Let's get another pedestrian pathway in here. Super exciting. There we go. Looks like we have a connection there. Connection made. And people are already using it. And not just for the bus stop too. We increase pedestrian foot traffic and everything else improves. Now let's take a look at our budget once again. Still hovering around, the bus lines are still hovering around profitability, but I bet we have some untapped demand here. This is quite the crowd. We could specialize this entire area as forestry too if we really want to reduce that pollution. So if we have non-forestry area that is specialized, then they can do like production and seed planking. See, this is kind of the real forestry area. Unfortunately got a pile up here, and I know that that's due to the very popular bus stop. So we're going to make the road asymmetrical. This way people can get through. Oh, it's asymmetrical in the wrong direction. So let's unpause the game. Just decide to go around. So you got a pretty little crosswalk and a very popular, very extremely popular bus stop. This bus stop, all the Nathaniel Bay Express Line bus stops are incredibly packed. Look, Emma, look. Look, Emma. Look how popular the bus, there's like 100 people waiting to get on the Nathaniel Bay Express Line. My fatness has ascended to new levels. Let's finally add more buses to the Nathaniel Bay Express Line. We've got 7 vehicles on it. Vehicle count modifier. Let's jump it up about 143%. Now we're about to hit $1 million. And our taxes are only 7%. Alright, it's time to go to 6%. And at this point, we haven't checked city attractiveness in a while, but I'm expecting it to be much higher now. 12%. That's not much better. We're going to get more metro use if we do this, especially in this corner here. It's going to get more popular use. We also have a bus stop in this corner here, so that might start getting used more. I still like using low density everywhere else. Like, these areas far from highway or metro stops, I'm going to keep them low density, because it's just nice to have a mixture of low density. They usually have like more families. These are more so family homes, and it keeps your city's birth rate up. So we have this area around the metro system here. So everywhere on this block should just go to high density right now. Expressway, 6% tax rate, still profitable. I bet we can even hit 5%. We have 1,000 residents per week. Well, 244 using the Nathaniel Bay Express Line. Alright, these guys are also close to a metro, so we're going to be upgrading them to high density. bus system is just so good, the metro system can't compete. What we can do is make an interconnect here. It's going to compete with the buses, but it's also going to make our metro more efficient. Okay, here we go. Got a connection there. Let's get a connection in here. Boom. Alright, got a new line that goes through the whole city. It totally bypasses the inner city, the downtown. All about the citywide loop. Running out of water for a second there. We'll just name it the Bay Metro Express. Still at 205 per week. I'm sure we've got people using that line at this point. 5 passengers, are you serious? Hey, look at that, our metro income is really starting to jump a little. That is still quite busy. Let's go ahead and add a bus, what the heck. Adding an 11th bus. Alright, look at that. We've got an extra 50 people hopping onto the metro this week. Negative 682. We are so incredibly close to having a profitable transit system. I think we can definitely answer our question in episode 3. Can we have a profitable transit system in Cities Skylines? Thank you for watching. Have a good night.